Our next reader will be Ashley Robles on the Zoom in a second here. Ashley is a chronically ill and chronically online poet based in San Antonio, Texas. She studied English and creative writing at the University of Texas at Austin and has been catching up on sleep and video games ever since. Her work has been published in the South Carolina Review, the Poets Billow, and she is a recipient of the Bermuda Triangle Prize. She is working on completing her first poetry collection. Please welcome Ashley.
Thank you. This first poem is called It Always Floods. I come from the streets you used to walk down barefoot, the aunt who was your mother in your town before. It was the city that I would find, pierced through foam soles, tacks and nails and needles, where I'd wander in the rain just to see it all wash out, make the gray streets black again. I try and see you here, pinafore and hair tied in ribbons, chasing your younger sister. You had both been left behind, but for a while, it was as if you had been saved by the earth itself, like the dirt had risen in mounds, barricading you from your other mother and the new him. For a while, you could be a child before the hurricane swept through, muddied the waters. Yours were the first storm drains to fill to blocking. By our time, my cousins and I, the streets would be flooded and the buildings etched in black. The worst point we had hit yet that was always sure to subside, but always sure to surpass. This one is called Wind-Marked Graves. This summer, I learned to forage in my grandfather's yard. The caps of mushrooms converging and filling the gaps between the coiled hose, a sign of fertility, the mushrooms feeding on nitrogen-rich earth, the kind that cycles death like a production line, unlike the dense, dry clay we collect across town, where we gather seeds in holes we've dug every spring, have watered and failed to sprout. We have only the remains of a yucca the developers failed to foil. It grows tall in the summer by the window and sways in the night, the buds whacking at the glass, falling to the ground that will not accept new dead. The wind will come and blow until the ground's welcome, consume. This one is called Long-Term Effects of Birth Control. Like a deep breath, you pull it in, release your lungs, and forget that you are holding the world like Apollo. The chest rises with ease, blood flows, begins to seep. It was always a possibility they would slice you finely in your sleep, weight crushed and molten. They got under your skin, added pennies for your thoughts, and emptied you. Clear vessel, you watch the dust collect and coat, the spider crawling through the slot, guarding the hoard you were promised, cannot remember how to use or see beyond white. It's just like learning to count. You hold pieces and give them worth by pairing. You learn magnitudes, measure units, begin to gather everything in larger groups, fill your pockets, buy cargo pants, a utility belt, a tote, a suitcase, pay monthly for storage and skin. This one is Cartography. We wade through the fallen wood, we bruise and scar, our blood bog staining, etching cranberry stretch marks at all sides and heights. Pain can splash like a fallen glass or scrape like hail. It suffocates like the earth can quake and the seas push back. Women have always been dealt the duty to draw the maps. Sent out lacking pen or parchment, we snap our own rib, bleed wrists into collarbones, flay from waist to knee, and draw by moonlight. Ink can gather like brush at the end of a river, or tear the page with its instant flood. Steady streams are always the greatest risk. How they rise to rushing can wash it all away. This is Afternoon Sleeping in the Nude. Sweat smells like maple syrup. Sweet. That means I'm probably slowly dying from another disease. I'll add that to the list. Cover up concern with another layer of body spray, daisies, and rainwater. That's better. Just like downing coffee after antidepressants, for the pain, for the anxiety, something new to be bitter about. No sun today. There's vitamin D for that, B for other undiagnosable things. Possible anemia, diabetes runs in the family. Your vitiligo puts you at risk for other autoimmune disorders. Like everything that's in my skin and blood, at least I'm warm. Fireplay. I got tired of burning ants, the exoskeleton bursting into flames, a moment of combustion, instant and painless. I know that darkness must be experienced in gradients to know its depth. I grasp every matchstick, knife, potential for spark, and hold it against myself. Wait for a synapse burst. Foods that are easy to chew fail to satisfy. I no longer see them on menus or grocery aisles. I refine my taste. I start swallowing live octopus, let the suction cup slide and grip in my throat, choke me until I can't breathe. I shovel in sand, resort to cement, and the holes fail to fill. There has to be something beyond skin, something beyond air I'm supposed to swallow. But if there's nothing left to taste, why must I eat? I ask for a reason to gasp, but they keep serving me plates, so I'm all over the fat in my mouth, the juice that bursts, and the tug in my jaw. I think of how I could spit it out, feel one last sensation, and starve. This one is called Bandages. Nodding like sailors, my fingers that cannot tie, securely wrapped, my flowing blood, a pad of pressure, that compressor, her hold is everything. I caress the cradle until the rope frays, the brush, light touch, the sting of disappearance pierces. I'm being smothered, held captive, cut away the embrace I must hold, the ghost that flows, floats, droplets, bubble, pop, like acupuncture. It's everywhere, like ants in the mound. I'm so sorry. I did not watch my footing. She was so warm, and I had to follow. This one is called Limbs. Every spring I kiss, only to find a lover that does not understand my skin. So on Tuesday, I offered the swallows locks of my hair to build their nest. And each night I pray the offering will be met in kind, imagining the warmth that devours the ortolan, crumpled limbs accepted whole, the tongue enveloping behind white. Each bite, bone and quill, stabbing the gum line in thick pricks, blood curling up in crowded corners, turning everything pink and stinging like plum, is assuaged by the taste of earth that fills and plants itself in the darkness, the flavors blending until flight. This one is Feeding Time. You never could breathe easily when the sun went down. Sleeping with your mouth open again, a habit from the deviated septum you can't shake. The pink, puffy tissue of your cheeks, exposed and slick and reddening. A blister bitten mid-turn onto your side, a trace of copper in the air. The survival instinct seems ironic now. You leave such a private space so vulnerable, so soft and warm. The flies descend on the injured and still, hands and tongues, tips pointed. The famished must eat. It's nothing personal. They are only glad that the soup is still hot, that they're only the second to bite. In an instant, they are absorbing you in small feasts. The nightmare caught in your throat, you dry heave. How I wish you slept easy at night. This one is called Procession. That grain of sand was my grandmother's wedding ring, before the flood swallowed up our papier-mâché town, killed all the horses. The new lampposts were supposed to keep us safe. Now look at the main road and his shoulders, all ice cream stains and crushed cones. The only fresh thing we have are coffins, christened or cursed by the highway nearest, the taillights raining like a fine mist. It's hard to tell if the ink is out or if the typist is corrupt, but everyone forgets so quickly. I've made enough glue, stacked so many sandwiches, and my knives are dull. They replace their breaks and everything oozes again before I can brush my brow. A new town goes up over the dried rags, and they call it holy ground when the spotlight shines. The fragments the kids collect as sea glass, cherish fine, place in craft boxes. I do not know if it is better when the graves glimmer or when the streets go quiet. And this last one is called Asking for Help. Since police station nights, I have not let tears drop at your feet. I've sealed my tear ducts, eyeliner as leak-proof tape, dyed my roots the color of yours before it grayed. I have taken on your youth, persona of strength, carefree in the deepest concern, now that the ship is sinking. It always has been, but I can taste the salt now, and the fins of fish are at my toes. The current has no currency without our flailing. It only ripples, continues to move if we struggle. I have to choose stoicism, a breath sucked in at the lip, poised blankness, neither pursed nor furrowed or pulled downward with the luggage, simply existing at the end. Thank you.